Hello, everybody. Just wanted to welcome you back to another Cooking with Denoy episode. And in this episode, we're going to try to make a... This is a great value, Walmart's Garden Rotini box mix. I'm actually going to make a thing that I call the Garden Rotini Surprise. And the reason it's a surprise is because I have no clue what I'm going to do. So we're going to make it up as we go along. So stay tuned. Okay, the first thing we're going to do when we are cooking this is we need to add water to the big pot here that I have. And how much water? I'm not really quite sure, but I know I need to have enough to cover the rotini, which we're going to boil up. So I think that's like pretty much standard cooking. You put water in and you put the pasta. So I put like this much water in here. And we're going to put it on the stove and simply turn it on high. And let that water kind of boil up, okay? And me being the lazy cook that I am, I know some of you probably say you should boil the water first and then put this in. Well, maybe that's how normal people do it. But for me, I'm just going to pour this whole box in here right now. And I can see right now that I have just about enough to cover it, which I think is fine. So we're just going to go ahead and leave it like that. Matter of fact, to help it boil even faster, I'm going to put a lid on it. And that's what we're going to do for now. Alright, this is where the surprise part comes in because I really don't know what I'm doing. But I do know this. I don't want to just make the rotini and then just put the meat sauce in it. And on the picture of the box, the rotini, they didn't even use a tomato sauce. I don't know if they even used any sauce. I don't know what the standard serving is for a rotini, but I know I've been serving it a lot like spaghetti. I just make the rotini, and then I also put in whatchamacallit. I put in tomato sauce, but so I don't even know if that qualifies it as a rotini anymore once you add tomato sauce. But that's how we're gonna cook it. But the surprise is this: I add all these crazy things, and some of it might seem really, really crazy, and I guess that's what the surprise will be because we don't really know what I'm going to be adding next. So, trying to get my wife to work the camera here. I don't know what she was filming. I was telling her to film the food, not the edge of the table. Anyhow, so what I'm going to do is actually cut everything here and slice it into pieces. And I think we're going to use the rings that I like, because I do like having these onion rings, you know. I love having the onion rings, so we're going to put the onions as rings. And this will allow us to throw in onion rings. I think the onion, once you cook it up, gives it a little bit of a sweet taste. This particular onion, what I found is when I did fry it, you know, with other dishes that I made, it really got sweet. So that'll make our dish taste sweet. We're going to go ahead and do that now. A piece here that I think is a little too big, so we'll just cut this little edge off here. I don't know. Maybe that's too much, but we're going to do that. This is a little bit too thick. I don't think anyone likes thick onions. Maybe. I don't know. So we'll cut this other part here a little bit. Make it not so thick. Toss all this in here. And that's the first part of the surprise. So let's go ahead and prepare some others. One of the cool things about making a dish like this is because we don't really have any instructions or, you know, telling us what ingredients to use. We can pretty much use whatever you like. In this case, I got some fresh bean sprouts the other day. I don't know how fresh they are now. They're a couple days old. But I did buy them fairly fresh from Thrifty. By the way, bean sprouts are pretty cheap when you buy them in a bag like this. I bought them from, I don't know if I got it from Walmart or Thrifty. I think I got it from Walmart. I think this whole bag only cost me like 70 cents or something. So, fairly affordable. And what I'm going to do is just cut the tips, because these tips look terrible. So we're going to cut off the tips of the beans and not use those. I'm going to cut the other tips here. And I think these are a little bit too long, so we're going to cut them into like bite-sized pieces. That looks pretty good, right? I'm going to toss that in as part of our surprise. I don't know if anyone ever makes garden rotini with bean sprouts. Well, not bean sprouts. These are, well, these are string beans. Is that what these are called? You know? String beans. So we're just cutting the tips off because I don't like the tips. Making it about bite-sized pieces. And we're going to toss it in to be for our mix. Over here you can see the noodles had kind of boiled over, so I turned off the heat. But now you can see it's calmed back down and the noodles aren't done yet. So what I'm going to do is turn the heat back up. We're going to put it on medium-high. And while that's cooking, we're going to continue cutting here. And you can see this one's really bad, so we're going to cut off the bad part. I want the food to be like good. So cut off the tip, make the food exactly as we want it, and that's the plan. Alright, so we've cut and cleaned up. I've basically been tossing the little pieces out of here because I like to keep the cooking area somewhat organized and clean so you don't have a big pile of a mess that you have to clean up later. So I generally would dump things out, you know, as I'm doing it. This looks bad, and we'll just get rid of that piece. Too small, I think. So we got some beans, okay? I don't know how common that is to use in rotini, but we're going to use it. I think one of the surprise features that we're going to include in this particular meal is this. This is eggplant that I bought the other day. I think I got it. Yeah, I got everything at Thrifty's, not at Walmart. I don't sell eggplants like this at Walmart. And I think this is really a big surprise because I don't know if garden rotini ever has eggplant in it. The reason I'm going to use the eggplant for this is because I've had like eggplant, is it called eggplant parmigiana or something like that? And rinse this off again here. Get this food rinsed, and we're going to cut all this. I was trying to save this little piece. Maybe I'll just toss it. And the end cap here we're going to toss too. So we got all of this. And now, how are we going to serve this? Well, I think if I just do little rings, might be a little too big. What do you think? Should we cut that? Yeah. So my wife is telling me that this might be too big, you know. Denoy's big mouth might take it, but most people can't eat like a big piece like this. So what we're going to do is actually take this and cut it into quarters. And we're going to have chunks of eggplant inside our Rotini Surprise. So, chunks of eggplant. What could possibly go wrong? Doesn't that look good? Eggplant is one of those weird, it's got like this like rubbery sponge-like texture. So I don't know how it's going to turn out. I do know that I'm putting a lot in there, so it's going to be very eggplanty. This is a very interesting surprise dish for myself as well, because I've never made one like this. So, something new. Okay, as you can see, the rotini itself looks pretty much done. So what I'm going to do is actually grab some of these mitts and pot holders here because we're going to have to dump this liquid. So I'm going to turn the heat off for now. And we're going to take this and just dump the excess fluid. Look at all that steam. All right. As much water out as I can. Put this here. Of course, it's going to start drying up. So what we're going to want to do next is make sure we add the sauce because I don't want that to dry up. So I'll get my trusty handy dandy can opener here. We don't want that to. I didn't want the rotini to burn up. So I removed it off the stove for now, even though the heat had been turned off. And we're going to put in the sauce. But I think to make it even more interesting, okay, so we've got our sauce here. To make it even more interesting, I think we're going to do this first. So let's bring the rotini here. And you know what, we're going to put all this in here first. Wow, that's a lot, isn't it? I think I'm not going to have enough sauce. What do you think? So let's add the sauce. And I can see I don't have enough sauce. So we're going to get another can.
I think it's enough.
Huh? You think there's enough sauce? I don't think so. I think it needs more. So luckily for me, I bought more. So you might notice something that you might think is weird, that I always wash the tops off. I do that because I used to work in a warehouse, and sometimes animals, rats and stuff, they leave little droppings behind on the can lid. Or urination. So, not very appetizing, huh? You might see me rinsing stuff off, and that's why. Used to work in a warehouse. Okay. I say that as the lid falls inside our sauce. So we're going to dump the second can in here. I think it should be enough at this point. Now, this is actually way more than I thought it would be, so I misjudged. Probably those eggplants. They were like super mega big. So at this point, we've got all this. And we still have some other stuff to add, which I'm debating to add now or not. Do you think we should add this? Wife's nodding her head. So we're going to throw in some frozen broccoli. How weird is this dish? Basically using up leftover food. And do you think we should add some tomato? It says no tomato. So a tip for you guys, if your wife says no tomato, that means no tomato. So, no tomato today. We're going to go ahead and just stir everything up. I'm going to turn the heat back on and try to stir all this up and see what it looks like. So, we're just going to stir things up and mix it all up. And as I start to mix it up, it already starts to look better. It starts to not look like the mess that it really is. Doesn't that look pretty interesting already? I already know this. My tummy or my mouth is salivating. So either this is going to be really, really good, or I'm just like really, really hungry. But it's certainly a very chunky meal. Can you see that? Doesn't that look good?
I like the fire.
I'm going to maybe turn the heat down a little bit. Oh, you know what else I forgot? I forgot to add meat. You want some meat in here? No meat? You want to eat this with no meat?
I have to first the meat.
What? Do you want me to add meat? I have some chicken I can throw in here. That'll make it taste even better.
Okay.
Okay, I convinced my wife, so I'm going to turn the heat down to warm. And I'm going to add the meat. Because right now, it's a vegetarian dish. Doesn't that look interesting? What are you saying? No, it doesn't, Denoy. It doesn't look interesting at all. Alright. So here's one over here. You can see I have bought another rotisserie chicken. This one's actually the good one. They had this one for $3.82, so it's more expensive than the little ones, but you can see it's the giant chicken. It's like huge. It's the really good one. So for about 50-60 cents more, you can get this good one on sale. You know, it's just lucky timing for me. So they got it ready to eat. So it's already cooked. I've had it frozen. I thawed it out. So it's already cooked. So all we're going to do is just add it. We're going to add it here to our little add-on plate here. And I'm just going to cut off some meat right here. Wow, it's still kind of frozen. Not really frozen, but cold. So I am going to cut it into chunks and toss it in here to be included into our dish. I don't know if you can hear that. The meat is somewhat frozen. So it's been thawing since earlier today, but it's not totally thawed out. So we're definitely going to have it mixed in there with everything. Doesn't that look good? Are you hungry? Are you salivating? No? Well, I think you shouldn't eat for a while. Then it'll be really good. I think that's the secret to making good food, is to make sure that the people eating are like really, really hungry. Then no matter what you cook, they're gonna love it. So I'm basically just carving up chunks of meat right now. And they are frozen, but it's okay. You know, it's gonna go into the heat there and thaw out, and will be perfect. Okay, I think we got enough meat now. It's looking pretty good. This stuff is still like frozen solid, guys. So, let me cut one more chunk here. I have my frozen rotisserie chicken. Skin too, I love the skin. I think we've got enough meat here that we're going to be able to use. Serving for two. Cover this up to save it for later use. To be thawed out by tomorrow. And we're just going to simply add this and start to mix it up. This will certainly thaw out the meat. I think I did use a little bit too much. The eggplant was like really, really thick, so it kind of made everything kind of puff up. We're going to add all this meat in there. And this is just a lot of wholesome, fresh veggies mixed with frozen, mixed with rotini noodles. And I guess the surprise will be whether it tastes good or bad. I haven't tasted this yet, but I'm telling you right now, I think it's going to come as no surprise that it's going to taste really good. And the reason is the ingredients are good ingredients. You know, we got fresh stuff. We put in things we liked. So this is going to be a very good meal. And I think we have enough here to last like more than a day. We're going to have a lot of leftovers. This is great food for leftovers because you can either freeze it and use it within a week or two, maybe even longer, or leave some in the refrigerator that you just microwave, and then you'll have a nice meal. And it's not like a cheap little sandwich meal or something, but a full-blown, full-fledged dish that I hope, actually I'm pretty confident, it'll taste very, very good. So at this point, I think to soften everything up, we're going to put the lid on it. And just let it, let's see, it's on, okay, it's off. I'm going to put it on probably about warm, medium low. And we're going to let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes and just let it kind of soften everything up and then consider it done. Okay? Very good job. Alright, so it's been a couple minutes and I've turned the stove off right now and I finally got the flash working. Apologize for that for the previous part. The flash wasn't on. So I don't know how well the food looks, but that looks really delicious, doesn't it? So we're going to find out if it really is delicious or it just looks delicious. Maybe that's the surprise, you know, it looks delicious but doesn't taste delicious. But it's got all sorts of wholesome goodness in it. Look at that. We have the garden rotini with mushrooms. Oh, I forgot the mushroom. Darn it. You think we should add mushroom? I have it.
I don't think anything is better for tomorrow.
Okay, so I had some mushroom, pre-sliced mushroom we could have used. I meant to add that and I forgot. But it's alright. We got more than enough stuff here to keep us busy. Look at all this stuff. Doesn't that look good? You got eggplant. You got rotini. Look how good it looks. And could have had mushroom. Because I've got some pre-sliced mushrooms in the refrigerator. So I think this is good enough serving size for me to try it out. And, you know, because I like things kind of hot, what I'm going to do is, the first thing I'm going to do is sprinkle some of this Parmesan cheese. I did go with the Great Value because it was a little bit cheaper than the Kraft that they had at Walmart. And of course we got to open that. So let me pause and open that. Alright, thanks to my handy dandy wife here, my assistant, we were able to easily open this grated Parmesan cheese. And I'm going to pour a little bit on here. Okay, maybe it's more than a little. Because I kind of like this cheese. And because I like peppers, we're going to put this crushed red pepper on here. Bring out the flavor. I do have some oregano. Would you like oregano on it? No. Okay. So, that's what it's looking like right now. And I don't know about you, but I'm actually salivating as I look at this. And I'm getting ready to try it out right now. Got some of that chicken skin. And you know what? I think we're going to take a little bit of the beans, the string beans. Because I want to taste the whole thing. Oh, this is so good. Next time, when we add the mushroom, the sliced mushroom, is going to be over the top. My wife's looking at me thinking I'm crazy because I have this, the expression. This stuff is so good, everybody. I recommend doing this because this is really good. Really, honestly. Well, until next time, everybody, I hope you're eating well, staying safe. Try out this recipe and let me know what you think. Take care now.